What is up, Podheads? Back with another episode of the Podioslave podcast. My name is Tony, joined as always by Nate.
Cha, what's up, bro?
I threw you a curveball there. What, Nate first this time? And Anthony.
I am not going to say my first name. Third person is gone.
Oh, it's gone again. All right. It'll be back next week.
And you did throw me for curveball, and it probably won't come up, but I burst out laughter in laughter here.
It's on the video. I've got it on video, so maybe we can show it down the line. But yeah, we're back together. We're nerding out. We're doing the damn thing. We're going to talk Cold's 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage tonight. But before that, I wanted to ask you guys a question, and we talked about it very briefly before I hit record, so as not to overdo it without the recording light going. But I think 2025 has the ability to be the best post-COVID music year that we've ever had. And I thought it was 2023 a couple years ago. A lot of stuff came out. We got to talk to a lot of cool people. It was a massive year for music for me. Everything that was kind of percolating from the pandemic kind of got released finally. Shows were back, all that stuff. But I think this year's on its way. What do you guys think?
I do got a question for you. In order for it to be better, does this year have to maintain or step it up?
Maintain.
Ooh, okay, then it's probably going to happen then.
We're getting a new Deftones record.
In your eyes.
We're recording this. I don't know if this is going to come out around when the Deftones. It might come out around when the Deftones records drops, but we're getting a new Deftones record. So that alone vaults a year into the stratosphere for me. I mean, I know I think the same. You guys feel the same way. I think the only thing that would top it would be a Rage record, right?
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck. Nate, where are you at? Because I get questions for Tone, but you go.
I just never heard it framed that way. And like you say Deftones, it's like let's admit it. It's a cheat. It's like, I thought of it as like a brand. It's like, think of it equivalent to like, automobile manufacturers, like, okay, like Tesla, Ford, Chevy, they're putting out some new models. And then you have some like indie cars that are putting out great stuff. But Deftones is dropping a new F-150. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, let's go.
Like, this year's already solid,
I didn't think that you were going to go the car analogy. It's usually the food analogy, so I like
weird.
it.
I don't know how it came to my mind. I'm not even a car guy, but Deftones really, I guess as of recent, has become somewhat of a brand. We always thought of it as like, that's our band. That's not a fucking brand, but it is. At this point, it is very much so a brand. So they just take so much market share. So the fact that they're dropping a record can essentially take over 2023, let alone because we're lucky to have them going still. And the single's dope. So They're firing on all cylinders. They're the biggest they've ever been, I think.
They're the biggest they've ever been.
Confirmed.
Right.
15 million monthlies.
Yeah. So it holds a lot of weight when you have a band that has roots that we know are completely validated and genuine. That's like, okay, like it is Rage Against the Machine equivalent. It's like, okay, they're, McLaren is putting out a new F1, an F1 McLaren, like 3-seater, sports car. Like you never get that. Like, fuck, let's go. 6 years in the making. Like,
yeah, and we get to drive it.
And we get to drive it. Yeah. So.
Well, yeah. What this makes me think of, like, the car analogy spot on, because that new like snake logo looks like a car emblem.
Yeah.
Like an Acura logo or something, or
Shout out
Mercedes-Benz.
Shelby Cobra. Yeah.
But what I wanted to mention is the name of the album is Private Music. Did you hear the story of Private Music?
No.
I didn't. No.
So I guess in the Zane Lowe interview, shout out Zane Lowe.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out Zane Lowe. He gets some big interviews, but in that interview, I guess, and I didn't hear this, but I saw like a meme about it. Chino said that was the folder on his computer. That's what he named it, Private Music. So my head is like, is all of this bullshit?
I mean, yes.
We've said it a million times. All this shit is just a product of dudes in the moment, and we're living proof of that. Like, there's no special sauce to this. This is us with lived experience, hanging out, talking music. Maybe there's some classics in the catalog. Who knows? But yeah, Private Music was this folder. Private
Music being the folder is funny because typically they end up renaming stuff. I mean, how many times have we talked to a band that's been like,
right?
Hey, yeah, that's what we called this the Converge song. We've heard that before, right? And they didn't obviously leave it as the Converge song. They gave it a name and it's something different. And then they'll still reference all those songs as the old names in interviews and stuff. And they're like, oh shit, that's not what it's called. Our bad. And Chino was like, instead of being, confused by that, let's just keep the folder name and go with the name Private Music.
Yeah, that is super cool. I mean, they're a pretty deep band, introspective and so forth. So maybe it was just like, let's just run with this. I heard this album's going to be pretty deep. A lot of interesting subject matter. So maybe they were like, it's already pretty complicated. Let's keep it at this. And if anything, and maybe it fits the theme as private music because it's, from what I heard, again, we haven't heard the record, just only heard the single, that it touches on some pretty, and I think Deftones is pretty mysterious in general, but given what we've been previewed, maybe I didn't watch this Zane Lowe interview, but it's touching on things that are a little bit more abstract than normal for Deftones.
Everything's always abstract with them. Nothing ever makes any sense.
I mean, they're on the edge of the earth with the abstraction. I mean,
we're off the rails though. The question I asked was, is 2025 going to be better than 2023?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Deftones tonight.
We were.
Well, let me ask you this. Say private music slaps. Like you can easily, like everyone's immediately like, I can slot it as a top 5 Deftones record. Can that carry 2025?
On its own? Yeah, probably. For us, I think. Not for everybody, but for us. And for a lot of people, because that's a lot of people's, band. It's their favorite band, or it's the band that they now identify with the most, even if they're, the younger generation. I mean, we know that the TikTok generation loves Deftones too. So the youth are in just as much as us old guys, us old heads.
So you said this has the potential if it continues this pace. So that suggests that there's been some bangers this year. So what's hit with you?
We talked to Eric from Heart Attack Band. I love that record. It's so good.
Great record.
Yeah. I'm excited for other stuff that I think is coming this fall that hasn't maybe been announced. What else have I really dug into? I've seen a couple banger shows that I didn't think I'd ever see again. Deftones in the spring, and a few other just situations where I've just been like, we're so back. We're not talking necessarily pandemic tonight, but we're so back from where we were even 2.5 years ago. So I'm just stoked. I feel like everything's kind of humming, and it's harder for us to get people on, even with the established reputation that we have and have people who know who we are, because everybody's busy doing stuff. Everybody's out at shows. Everybody's working on new shit. They're in between new shit, Newfound Glory, right? Where we're thinking we're gonna get something from them maybe. It's just been it's just been a pretty crazy yellow card. We're gonna be a pretty crazy year.
I get 2 words for you. You ready? Charmer Downpour.
So good.
Is it album of the year so far? It might be.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there.
It's up there. Yeah.
I feel like that's a recommendation for me. I don't know that one.
And then maybe, who knows if we get anything from Head Automatic. We've gotten a couple songs, but we talked to Daryl earlier this year. Like, that's another situation that could just kind of blossom out of nowhere. At
the time of recording today, they said there's going to be an announcement before their next show or something. So,
and they're playing tomorrow.
There you go. So by the time this airs, you already know about it, and you're like, oh, I'm one step ahead of those guys.
Or is it a countdown to a box set like Slipknot?
It's a countdown to new merch on the yeah I know, right?
Come on, guys.
Merch now. What was Beck's brand? Merch now or Merch Direct? One of them. I don't know.
I think it was Merch Direct.
Merch Direct.
Yeah.
The Oversized album, Vital Signs, was money. That was this year, right?
Really good. Yeah, early this year. Yep. We talked to those guys too. It's just been a really good year. So I think it's on its way to being better than 23, and I loved 23. We get some really good stuff in 23.
It's funny you reference like 23 and like post-pandemic. All those years blend in. I would have to go back to our year-end recaps to like distinguish what was in what year. I'm glad we have them
because we can do that, which is really cool.
You can do that.
Yeah, I remember Nate loved that MGK record in 2020.
Oh god, exposed. Hey, as a listener, go run those episodes up, run them up, listen to them, support the scan, right?
Yeah, it helps out. All right, let's talk cold. It's summer. Let's talk cold.
Exactly.
Oh man, this band, this record, man, 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage. It's still a banger. It still hits for me today. 25 years later, it comes. I think it turns 25 in September, middle of September. It is still awesome, and I want to know like where it started for you guys, because I remember exactly where I was. I have a vivid memory of hearing the song "No One" blasting out of someone's car, likely on WCYY, in the high school parking lot in 2001, and being like, that song's fucking awesome. I gotta learn more. I'm throwing on the radio and it's cold. All right, cool. I gotta go to Bull Moose and buy the record, and that's exactly what I did.
Was it your car, Nate? Was it the red truck with 2 gas tanks?
Oh, dude, I think it rules.
We filled that. We filled that thing to go to Green Day once for like $150 to get down and back from Green Day.
Yeah, when you're a broke high school kid, you'd run it to the fumes and then switch to the other tank, and you're like, I'm good. I think my first experience was a demo, 2-song demo in the free bin at Bull Moose Music. Props to Bull Moose Music, Maine. record store that we talk about all the time. And that was my intro. And I remember getting it. And I was going to think about it for a second. It was an acoustic demo. So both songs were acoustic. I remember being like, this is interesting. And then getting the record later, and it's not acoustic, obviously. But I thought that was an interesting way to promote the band, was to put out a two-song sampler, acoustic versions of the songs on the record, and being obsessed with it. It really reminded me of like Alice in Chains Unplugged. Like, okay, like there's some depth to this music, and it's pretty dark. And then getting the record and hearing kind of like the plugged-in versions of the same songs.
Wasn't it 3 and they were acoustic? It was 3 songs. I couldn't find it online.
It might have been 3.
It's probably on YouTube, but I couldn't find it on any.
Was it this album cycle?
Yeah.
From this album? Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either at one of your houses or in my storage somewhere.
Oh, so it's here and I couldn't find it all along?
It's
God
in the
damn
bins.
it. Should I see the bin over there? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was this album cycle. Like they had the self-titled album before this. I didn't know about them. And actually it's kind of a tough band name to market, you know. I mean, you really, with that name, you really got to have the tracks and break through. But yeah, it was this album cycle, and it was probably no one. Probably it might have been my car, Tony. You never know. Although no, I didn't have a car.
It wasn't the Hog. I do not remember it being the Hog.
But yeah, I liked the song. Like that was no one. It's interesting. Like Just Got Wicked was the first single. I didn't hear that in the moment. It was no one.
That wasn't on the radio that much for us. I don't think.
I don't think it was.
Right? No one was everywhere, but I don't remember Just Got Wicked being on the radio a ton. But then obviously going back after and being like, this song fucking rips too. So
yeah, it's probably one of those like not in, you know, constant rotation songs, maybe late night. I mean, obviously we know Rob at COY, so like if it was a single, it was a single, but I feel like we got skipped a lot. So who knows if that even got picked up in our market.
Yeah. They did come through though, right? Didn't they play?
They did. They came fall of 01. Headlined State Theater with Lifer and Dope. And I think I went with you, Nate.
Yep. I remember that show.
And I think this has come up on the pod
show
before.
Regret for me.
Do you remember something distinct about that show?
Oh yeah, dude. And we have talked about it, but yeah. And I remember walking in being like, is this good? Like there's no barricade.
It's no barricade.
Yeah.
The only state show with no barricade. And I think I've seen Cold twice at the state. One of them, I don't know if you remember this. They had that like sound dampener.
I don't remember that.
Above the crowd. Yeah. Almost like you see like on like a patio deck or something, you know, like to shield the sun, to give some shade. It's like a sound dampener when they don't have people up in the balcony. I think it was maybe a little tennis type of thing.
Wow.
But,
and it was an off-fest date, I think, so that makes sense. They had the setup. Wow.
Yeah. But no barricade. Bring it back.
I know, right?
I mean, don't bring the barricade back. Bring it back to no barricade.
I know. The no barricade thing was sweet. Is it one of the few times I went to the State Theater and felt like, oh, we're not in the State Theater. We're in a club. It's almost like the equivalent to like a half house at an arena. It's like, all right, we're going to make this even more intimate. And I thought that was cool, but it felt dangerous at the time. I'm like, did someone fuck up here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that crowd would have been, could have been, I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm sure you guys, that crowd could have been physical.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember like, again, I was right in the front, belly up to the stage.
Yeah.
And sure. I'm doing the math here. I was 15, 16,
nice.
15. What was I doing? It was a week. You have to fact check it, but I remember it being a weeknight.
This is when I get super jealous of kids today, because we would have had smartphones and had all this documented, but we don't.
I know.
You know, we have like some disposable camera stuff, but a lot of stuff's shitty anyway. But I think you're right. Thankful for your memory, because I think we were like dead center barricade or not non-barricade.
Non-barricade.
Hands on the stage type stuff and being like, this is fucking weird, but cool.
What's that Limp Bizkit song about the barricade?
Yeah. Results may vary.
Can't say that I remember that one.
It's like head for the barricade or
Another
something.
Jacksonville, yeah, band.
Fred Durst had a little bit of a hand in this, right? He's a producer credit on it, so it all comes back to Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, it was him, Adam Casper, and Chris Brenna, but Casper was fucking Titan, right?
Yeah, he was
Foo Fighters, Queens later. He did the Seaweed Spanaway album, Soundgarden, Down on the Upside. I mean, that's a resume that you can't really fuck with.
Well, no wonder, I mean, that this record blew them up, because it did, right? They had the self-titled. I've listened to bits and pieces of that over the years. I dig it, but this is where they found Cold, I think, right? Where they were like, this is our sound. It's very, of the time, it's very nu metal 2000, 2001. The guitar tone, I love the guitar tone on this record. There aren't many bands that sound like this. I would say Seven Dust a little bit in spots. At least guitar tone wise. Otherwise, it's completely different from that. they were super, like, in the moment got kind of big, but people kind of fell off on them, and I don't really know why. They're still a band, they're still touring, still crushing it, I'm sure, but they're not. More people should have been into this because it hit a lot of notes.
I think the interesting cadence with Cold is that first debut record. I mean, first of all, the album artwork was like a superhero logo. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
the red.
not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
It's not a bad record by any means, but definitely
The record's good.
The promotion behind it wasn't executed like 13 Ways to Bleed on stage by any means. I think 13 Ways, like to your point, very much honed in. This is who we are. They very much lead into like the whole gothic theme. There's some, production value alone is very much curating that. But I think the band was in line with this is what we want to do and this is what we're going to do. But what I was getting at is like the dichotomy with this band is like first album, If You Knew, You Knew, very underground, 13 Ways to Bleed, If You Know, You Know, in a very much like collective level. And then the next album, I guess, like you said, they made it at that point. So it was a commercial success on the third record. So there was a kind of like, there was no like, it seemed like it was a very fast paced this, then, and that rather than like a even flow,
No, I like they went up, they had a record, hit a big number with this one, and then got a little promotion behind them on top of that, right?
Yeah, it was almost too fast. Like it wasn't enough time to
too
like
fast,
kind
too
of
furious. Yeah,
grow with them. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you said something interesting, which was it's of the time and kind of very new metal. And a question I had for you guys is it new metal? I mean, if you asked me,
man, you're speaking my language.
I mean, well, here's the thing: is if you so we decided we were going to do this album maybe a week ago, right? It's an album that we've lived with 25 years. We're celebrating it, but I haven't. I've listened to it like every day for the last week, and I haven't listened to it with that like dissection in those ears maybe ever. And if you asked me before a week ago, I'd said, yeah, I mean that's a classic new metal record. But as I'm listening to it, I'm like, you nailed it, Nate. There's like some Alice in Chains vibes, right? There's like some industrial stuff. There's some Nine Inch Nailsy shit. It's gothy and dark, and I don't know. I just had in like Holiday Kirk, a new metal agenda. Shout out Holiday Kirk. He has it like top 30, 40, or 30 or 40 new metal records of all time. But is it a new metal record? I think the features and who they toured with would lend itself to yes. But I'm looking at it at age 40, and I'm like, this is a little different,
Yeah. Well, I had that, and I was going to ask it at the end, but I can ask it now. I can ask it now, and we can just go. And then we can get back into more cold stuff. But I mean, they are a band that I think fit this. There's some emo to this fucking record.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like it's without being whiny emo, which we knew, loved, grew up with as well. This record certainly has themes and feels like you could rearrange some of these songs and it make this an emo record very easily. And I wonder if there's any other new metal or bands that are lumped into that new metal that you could do that with.
So I love doing this because I hadn't thought of this in many, many years, and maybe I'm not even right with this. Didn't Cold open for Weezer?
Yeah, I saw that.
And it didn't work?
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean,
right?
Weezer crowd would not understand. Some of the Weezer crowd would not understand that.
Yeah.
But the emo thing, them and I have Stained. Not all of Stained, but there are bits and pieces, especially as Stained, like Break the Cycle. As you get into that world, 14 Shades of Grey, right? Like those are more, could be more classified as emo in the songwriting and what it end up being.
They're more introspective, and maybe that all started with Alice in Chains, but I mean with new metal, you're right. There's bands that went there.
Any more? You guys think of any more
of bands that went there, like new metal bands?
Yeah.
You nailed the good one. Stained. Ooh, yeah, that's a good.
I couldn't think of any more. Those are the two that popped into my head.
What new metal bands that kind of fit the same?
That you could have rearranged those songs and put them to an emo kind of in the emo world. I mean, they're a little more new metal, post grunge, alternative metal stuff, right? But if you change the music a little bit, they could have absolutely fit. Those songs absolutely could have fit as emo songs. I think Stained, latter 100%. Half Stained for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. And it's really much so Scooter's lyrics. It's like very much pretty sad, dark storytelling. So it fits the vein of like emo music. And I think that's why it stands out from the whole, not that new metal was not emotional music, but it was, I mean, as soon as I first heard this Cold record, it was definitely a step back. Like, oh wait, this is not the same as Limp Bizkit, Korn, Linkin Park, all that stuff. This is like, and to your guys' point, like I don't even know if it fits on those tours. It does. I mean, like we said earlier, like there's a Jacksonville connection with Limp Bizkit and Cold. Scooter and Fred, I think, were good friends growing up or in the scene in that market. But like, other than that, I think that's just happenstance. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that they are legitimate in being touring partners, and to the point of I don't think it is new metal actually at all. And I haven't ever even really thought of that. It's more of like, I hate to say it, more like, yeah, Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson type stuff, which is not new metal. So, and I don't know what that is. I guess it is industrial to an extent, but it's even deeper than that. It's like, I listen to the record, I'm like, this music is so deep and so detailed that it's kind of it really, I hate to say this because it seems like a little abstract, but its own thing in a weird way.
I think that's why it's so good.
Yeah. And I think actually to tie this whole emo and new metal thing, like almost like to put a bow on it, is it came from a real perspective. It wasn't shut up when I'm talking to you. Right. You know, it's like, I want to scream, I want to feel, I want to bleed. Like I don't know, it's just real. You can hear in his delivery, in his vocals, and his lyrics that he means it. It's just a little more genuine, which from an emo perspective, yeah, some emo bands it's performative, but some it's like it's from the heart, man. It's real, and it's real. And yeah, they lived in kind of their own world, but their tours and the optics kind of put them in the new metal lane all day.
For sure.
And I think they fit there too, but you're right. I think the reason that maybe they don't get brought up with some of the heavy hitters of new metal today by the people who maybe liked it in passing, I would not put us in that category. I wouldn't put, Holiday Kirk, as you mentioned before, in that category. The people that paid attention are like, well, this band's fucking awesome. Like this record's fucking awesome. The next record's really good. The record after that's pretty good too. Like, they know how to write songs. They know how to hit, certain spots to make you feel shit. I watched the Bleed video today and I was like, fuck. Like I've listened to the song a million times. It's one of my favorite songs ever, especially in this genre. But it's one of my favorite songs ever as far as like just full on making you feel something from a song. And I don't think they continue to get the props they deserve because they were able to do all that, and it just because it comes from a real place. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are ready for it. We're like, take Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, it's all-time record, but it's also a commercial record, and I don't think that's what this was. I mean, no one hit in some capacity on the radio. I mean, that's how we heard it, that's how they got on our radar. But yeah, maybe on Year of the Spider they kind of leaned into piggybacking off the success, but this album, man, it's raw, it's real, it's from a dark place, and maybe people weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I think you're all right. And I think I was listening to the record today too in prep. Obviously, the first half of the record in particular is very like somewhat, I don't want to say slow tempo, but it's not new metal at all. It's very much like there's slow intros with drum intros, and just like, I don't know. There's a depth to it that is between his lyrics and just the instrumentals alone. It's like it's just a captivating record. But I think that's why we all kind of identified like, okay, I'm gonna put a different set of headphones on for this one because it's obviously we're nerds, but like this is not just a casual listen. Basically,
right. It's not a casual listen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of songwriting and musicianship that wasn't there with maybe the peers that they toured with. I mean, take track 2, She Said, with a piano intro.
Exactly. That's
very few bands were doing that, would even think to do that, and to actually pull it off and it worked. They just separated themselves from the pack. Like that song, and we'll get into more tracks, but like that's just an observation. It's a different thing, and anyone who dismisses them as just a new metal band, there's more. I mean, I'll be real. There's not a lot of bands from this era that I still listen to the albums. I'm being real. Like this is one of them that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is one that still, I was drumming along in the car. I was hitting the bass lines. The opening bass lines to some of these songs are fucking sick. Shout out Jeremy Marshall. I'm looking at it. I didn't know that off the top of my head, but it was so there was a level of musicianship. You're right on this record that was not maybe present in some of the other either bands they toured with or just bands at the time that were popular. Like even the stuff that was super popular, like you said, even we love Linkin Park, we love Hybrid Theory, we did a whole episode on it, but that one is kind of at you, and this one a little different, a little more to it.
Well, the tracks are there. What also hits, and actually we talked about this with the Poison the Well album. We talked about it. I think I mentioned it with Every Time I Die, Smashing Pumpkins, just like albums where like everything's just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, for sure.
This is one of them. It's got the tracks, it's got the lyrics, it's got the depth. The name of the album is perfect. The album cover, like to go from the red self-titled, very like
Superman logo,
Microsoft PowerPoint-ish or whatever, to clip that art. Where you can see like a journal and a ticket stub, and it was. And Scooter, I mean, he lived every one of those lyrics.
Yeah,
like,
sure. You can
see
see it on his face in videos. You can, absolutely.
Yeah, and just the mystery, and I'm sure there's lore with the band. Like if you looked at their wiki, apparently they'd been a band for 12 years before then under different names and lineups. But man, were they firing!
One that goes back to when people think some bands are industry plants, like a lot of them like this were doing their thing for a long time and knew each other for a long time. They brought in Terry, the guitarist, they'd been playing with him off and on for years before, so he fit right in. Like it clearly worked, and they were able to not catch lightning in a bottle because they continued to make good music after this. But this one was the one that put them on the map after the Superman logo record. It's not quite Creed's Weathered, but it's not that one's not very good. The album art game stepped up gigantically on this one.
Album cover and band cap.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
The irony is, I think even on the self-titled album, and I'd have to fact check it, I think Cold self-titled was on, it was on Flip A&M Records. It was produced by Ross Robinson.
Okay.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, and this, I mean, there's some good songs on that record too. Like we're not saying that they were nothing and then they put this out. But this is the one that hit, got them national notoriety, got them on tours with big bands, and probably gave them the career that they ended up having.
Yeah, I think, you're a product of your environment. So like the Jacksonville thing, obviously working with Ross Robinson, with Limp Bizkit connection, and then even Jeremy Marshall, like you said, they did a tour with Evanescence. Jeremy ended up leaving Cold to go become the, I think, lead guitarist, maybe rhythm for Evanescence post that tour. It was like the Nintendo tour or something like that. I don't know how I remember that, but so a lot of it's just connection, and actually kind of thinking back on the whole success story of Cold and how they got here. If it wasn't for that, this might just be another one of those amazing, perfectly, diamond in the rough bands that just didn't have the exposure that they needed to get there. They might have just always been lost in the ether, but they had enough, or just maybe even just one connection with Fred Durst to get put on tours, because that's really what it all came down to, and I think it still exists. Is it's who know. In some cases, you have to be really good.
Absolutely.
But
you got to be good too, right? You got to back it up. But you're right. It does help to know people, and it does help to get on people's radar because somebody's like vouching for you and say, hey, these guys are cool. I know them from the scene that I came from. But then you got to back it up, right? Or if you don't back it up and don't put songs out that are good and, make people like us want to talk about them 25 years later, then you're not going to be around very long. And they definitely put out songs that we want to talk about 25 years later. This whole record, I think it's front to back. I don't think there's a miss.
It's it's close. If we think about side A, side B, side A, if side A ended at It's All Good, I think that goes toe to toe with anyone in this genre.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Just Got Wicked, She Said, No One, End of the World, Confession, wrap it with It's All Good.
So good. Yeah.
And then you hit side 2 with Send in the Clowns, Same Drug. And you mentioned Marilyn Manson, Nate. Anti-Love Song sounds like a Manson track.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came from that camp, there's something here for you. I'm sure from the early Cold stuff, certainly the Aaron Lewis connection with Stained. So there was some crossover here, but this band was just unique. And they had a true frontman. Like Scooter didn't play guitar, right?
He didn't. He did in the self-titled. He didn't on this. That's why they brought Terry in to let him focus on being the front man and not be as worried about doing both. So he did play guitar at one point, and I'm sure he helped write stuff too. But he for this record and forward focused on being a front man.
I never thought of it until you said it on the side A, side B, but it actually makes a lot of sense because it does flow perfectly from, Just Got Wicked right until It's All Good. And then Stand in the Clowns is obviously like a ripper, so it kind of changes cadence completely. Yeah. But I fucking love that song.
I would say it's very new metal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when it gets to that song, you're like, all right, now we're getting into the scene per se. And it goes in the same drug, anti-love song, but ends in Bleed, which is probably the most cathartic
We want to Bleed
song.
Already?
No, we gotta save it. Yeah,
all right, we'll save it. All right.
I mentioned it earlier too, but we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to talk tracks? Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's do it.
We don't have to do the whole thing, but Just Got Wicked is a great album opener. I fucking love that. Opener. I almost started the episode with 1, 2, 3, here I come with the Wicked, but I didn't, and I forgot because I forgot about it, and it was the second intro we recorded tonight, so my bad. But that was how I was going to start the episode. But that fucking song is so good, and it's a great way to kick off what you're going to get from this record. It's also not, they go in a bunch of different directions from Just Got Wicked, but man, what a cool way to start a record. And that's a little more of the industrial, and yeah, absolutely.
Industrial and the drums. It almost sounds like the drums are kind of in the background a little bit.
Oh, yes, 100%.
And when he comes in, you just get a feel for, like, I don't know. I hate to compare him to anyone, and he's his own thing. Like no one really sounds like that. I'd love to know who his influences are.
Dude. Again, we're doing another one with another front person who's unique sounding. They don't sound like everybody else. Most of these records we talk about, the front person has a unique sound. I think it puts them on a different playing field, and not just Cold, but in this situation, Cold. But all the records that we've done, they're front people who sound like them and no one else.
Yeah, unique delivery, unique cadence. The lyrics are obviously, we talk about the lyrics, but the melodies and the harmonies, you didn't get a lot of that. And honestly, think about it. The bands that did hit you with the harmonies and stuff like that, maybe it was a two vocal band. He's doing it himself.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about what you just said, like that studio reverb on like the drums and stuff like that. It seems there's a little bit of unproduced element to that, which I always thought was super fucking cool. I think I've mentioned on here like at least 20 times, like the Rage Brad Wilk intro to Vietnam. Like you hear a little like drum rattle for whatever reason was not like edited out. I actually think that's fucking cool because it's like, oh, nice.
I love that shit.
They're in Sound City Studios. That's fucking cool.
That shit's cool. That shit's always cool.
And I think it's, there's the perfectionist in mastering and producing that wants to cut that out because it's not supposed to sound like that, but leaving it in is what people like us appreciate. It's like the nerd level, like, oh, they are in a studio and they fucking recorded this raw and live, and that's all that matters. And to the point to what you're saying about Scooter on Just Got Wicked, when he yells in that song, like he's belting it out, and it's like you can tell like he had to make it. He had to like maybe just do it in one take because I don't think he could do it after that one take. He's like, just God. I can't. I'm sick, by the way. But you know what I mean?
Don't try.
I'll imagine you finish that, and we'll pretend it was awesome.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 awesome. Here, Nate doesn't come with the Wicked right now.
Yeah. But there's that just underscores the pure energy in this record is Scooter and the band. Like I said, the drums and the guitars, everyone just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna put everything into this, which is obviously everything we love about these records. So
yeah, and then you get She Said, which we talked a little bit about. Obviously the piano intro is crazy, and like to do that coming out of Just Got Wicked's nuts, but it sounds good, like it works. And then that song is awesome too. And we talked about No One. Do you guys have stuff on She Said?
No, I think the piano is a star.
Yeah,
I mean, not to discount the rest of it, but like that was a choice that I think separated them. Yeah. And then you get into what? No One?
Yeah, No One we talked about. I mean, everybody knows No One. If you've clicked on this, you know that song. You heard it everywhere in 2000, 2001. End of the World, man. End of the World is so fucking good.
So good, dude.
Yeah. Might be I think it's my second favorite song on the record. It's such a good chorus, and it just, you can, like, windows down today, I'm driving all over fucking Southern Maine doing errands because I'm on vacation, and blasting End of the World like it's 2000, and every year feels like it's the fucking end of the world, so this one fit. But I loved doing that. I loved that vibe because I remember doing it 20 years ago and 23 years ago, 4 years ago when I got my license, and doing it again today was just such a throwback to that time. And that song just fucking hits for me.
Dude, here's something that I thought about that goes in the vein of the pure element in not only the songwriting but delivery on that song in particular. Is I listened to that today and I remember just stopping the song and just thinking for a second, being like, there's another song, there's a lot of songs that address the end of the world or just chaos, Armageddon, all that stuff. And I was like, there's other songs that are written this way, covering this subject matter, but it doesn't hit the same. And I was trying to identify what's the one that I'm thinking of that's like cool, but you're just doing it. And I think it's Imagine Dragons, like the apocalypse or something. This is the apocalypse.
Oh, come
That
on,
one's- yeah,
dude.
that
Shut
one's not as
it
good.
down.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm like, like cool, but not cool because you don't fucking mean it. And it really gave this song, End of the World, that much more like weight and value. Like, no, he actually wrote it like he actually thinks the world's gonna fucking end. And I agree with him by listening to it. I signed up. I'm like, yeah, dude, it is, shit's fucked up. And that is the power of music, is believing it. Like, okay, I understand this guy's story and it's dark and it's deep. It's actually in a weird way an escape from it, and it actually comes out the other side in a positive way. Whereas, and again, maybe we'll get Imagine Dragons on the pod someday. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Hey,
But
let's go, baby.
the level of depth and authenticity isn't there. Whereas something like Cold, and that just shows it does. You don't have to be triple platinum to hit the target. Like this one hits more than someone that's selling out stadiums. And I remember pulling over and being like, what's the song that addresses the exact same subject matter, but literally is just a Target song while you're shopping? Like it's night and day. So
That's a great point. You're right. Because you can tell when it's genuine. And this one felt like he felt that way. And the delivery, the music behind it, the whole nine. And that the other ones may not hit the same. Would agree.
Well, what's crazy is, have you guys seen those videos on YouTube where, like, supposedly musicians have never heard songs and they like play the drums to the song?
That's bullshit. But yeah, I have seen those.
Well, like I think Stamos did it with something. I
Oh,
remember
yeah,
he did it. Well, anyway, like I think when those happen, they go to like the most common denominator. It's like that's what you would expect. And with Scooter and with End of the World, think of how it starts. Everyone came around here. I mean, who would think to those inflections and that emphasis? It's almost one of one.
yeah,
Well, he's almost like Colin answering to himself too. Everyone else got sick. Like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like it's both. They're both him, but it feels like he's going back and forth with himself there.
I mean, you nailed it, Tone. It's the Billy Joe. It's the Tom DeLonge. It's only them. They emphasize certain words and the delivery and the cadence. And I mean, who would have thought even those simple 4 words, who would think to put them like that, say them like that,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So good. All right. Well, Confession, great song. I feel like let's just from here on out, maybe we just give ones that we all dig. I'll give you a couple. Obviously, Sending the Clowns is fucking all time, and you're right. It'd be a great start to side 2, and it probably is, depending on what format you get it. And obviously on CD back then it didn't, but if you had it on vinyl, I think there are vinyl kicking around in Europe. I looked on Discogs today.
I love to have this on wax.
Kind of want this. Shit,
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fucking expensive.
Maybe some bootleg action going on.
Yeah, but that's a great one to kick off a side. And it's, I mean, when the bridge when he's screaming Sending the Clowns, I'm just like, it's fucking me, man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
For me, that another big one. I think we say Bleed just to the end for all of us because I think we all feel that way. And I love Outer Space. I think Outer Space is a cool song. Cool way to kind of wrap the more moderate upbeat songs on the record.
Yeah, I think Outer Space is actually like a really good deep cut. If you think about it, it's got that classic kind of cold instrumental. I think they hit you with that. Did we skip over Confession? Confession, I think, is all time for me. Like, I love that song. And even like getting back to the Scooter cadence thing, like everybody loves stars. It's haunting. It's captivating. And then it's all good, right? I mean, I think we've talked about it in text, like take another motherfucking hit of LSD. Even the cadence of that and the choice of the words and the lyrics, it's just crazy.
I texted that to you guys the other day, did I not?
You did.
16, 17-year-old me is like, what?
Yeah, we were talking about that, like, this seems wrong, but it also felt cool. Like, we weren't part of that grunge movement where they're talking about shooting up heroin. Like you're supposed to just kind of listen and be like, yeah, no worries. But he's talking about hitting up LSD, and you're like, what is that? I mean, I think I know what it is. It's like, okay, it felt dangerous.
Lives.
It's like watching a rated R movie as a kid. You're like, okay, I know this is real life, but wow, okay.
Yeah.
You look at your parents like, is this okay?
Well, it's one of those scenarios where like the choice, like think of all the syllables in there. Like that was very intentional. I don't know. We're getting back to intentionality here, but the first half is untouchable.
Drink.
And then I'm looking at the track list. I'll drink. Yeah, sure. Send in the Clowns, Same Drug, Anti-Love Song, Witch, Sick of Man, Outer Space, and they land it with Bleed. Are you guys skipping a track?
No.
Probably no one. Probably three, no one at this point.
Only because I've heard it a million times, not because the song sucks. Like the song's fucking awesome. I've heard it enough to jump into End of the World. What other ones stand out to you, Nate, on the back half?
I mean, yeah, so I was looking at it too. I'm very much front half centric. In fact, I think if I'm going to just call it right now, I think my favorite song on the record is It's All Good, for sure. And it really actually, going through it right now, it's like amazing how many of these songs really are kind of a slow build intro, almost like half the record, which is cool. Maybe that's a reason why it kind of is a step back for us as kids listening to, like, oh, it's not like new metal where it just jumps in. Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, all this stuff. Like it just starts. Whereas this, it's like a jazz ensemble. Like, okay, now we're going in. But it's like, that was unusual at the time. And it still is. Even when I listen to it today, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So there's a little bit of a build up in a different way, This one definitely
took effort to get into, and not in a bad way. Like you needed to be paying attention more than some of the other records from the same scene and time.
Yeah, exactly. I think what Twan said is pretty accurate. It's like the intentionality. It's like, okay, like I can't just casually listen to this drink. And that's fucking cool. Like that actually showcases like, wow, we really are fucking nerds, because we actually had to take a step back, be like, okay, I'm going to put this in the Discman. It's not going to go in the stereo because I don't think I can listen to this out loud because it's that intense. For everyone's judgment or protection on myself with the LSD line alone, I'm just going to listen to this on a walk with my skip protection.
Yeah, buddy.
But the back half hits for sure, but the first half I'm obsessed with. In fact, I think it really could be, in a sense, its own record. Maybe these could be two records. Maybe it was two writing sessions. I don't know.
It's actually kind of wild that this put them on the map because of how much, not work, because it's not work, how we love it, right? But how much you had to be paying attention to understand a lot of what's going on musically. Like there aren't a ton of songs like Just Got Wicked that jump right into it. Even No One isn't super like in your face to start. It's a riff, right? It's just kind of a couple plucks on the guitar. So it's kind of crazy that it did as well as it did and they got to where they were as a band, because it's dense. There's a lot going on.
I think that's a great point. It overcame. I mean, think about it. Cold it's a very generic band name. I mean, I know Google wasn't around when they formed, but it's a tough name to Google, right? It's 13 ways to bleed on stage. Some people might be out on the name alone. Then you layer in the dark lyrics, the dark undertone, kind of like the seedy industrial vibe to some of the tracks. Like it overcame a lot, which lends itself to tracks are tracks, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you get tracks, that can overcome everything.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, this album, I think, is when they introduced the spider logo. And not that every band has to have optics and identity, but it certainly helps. And it's a cool logo, right? I mean, you're the spider, baby.
Yeah. They leaned into it heavy with the next one, but you're right. It's the first time they ditched the Superman logo and jumped into the spider and jumped into the awesome album cover and jumped into you're going to have to pay attention to these songs. They're going to be slow burns for, 10 of the 13, and they all fucking still rip. Like they're all fucking good. So if you were willing to do the work, and a lot of people were, like this went gold, right? A lot of people were willing to do the work and jump into this and spend time with it. And there's a lot of people that understand, some of what's going on here too. So it probably spoke to them and in that world too.
And I would challenge, like, if you like the album in the moment, revisit it. I think you'll reconnect with it. I think it'll hit. If you dismiss them, maybe because I don't know,
you
bands
don't like spiders.
You don't like spiders. You like warmth and not cold or whatever. give it a listen. I mean, it's heavy, but it's real. It's a real album.
I hadn't thought about the logo in a long time, but yeah, when you see someone with that logo on a backpack or tattoo, you're like, oh wow, that person knows. That's cool because it is
Yeah.
relatively obscure. I mean, when we talk about how big they got, we're talking about our kind of like globe, you know. I think they got big, and I'm not necessarily talking about actually records sold as much as just who it permeated with at this level, like what we're talking about. And I think it is a select crowd, and that's unfortunate because I think what we're addressing here is like this really is a pretty outstanding record, front to back, instrumentally, lyrically, production value. It hits all the right steps, and to the extent where it's 25 years now, and like I could see this record had it wouldn't have the support that it should, could be like a theater tour, like all theaters, like let's give it the production value it deserves and make this almost like a not a theatric, well yeah, a theatric thing because it has so much depth that it really deserves that. But it would only get that if it got the commercial success more than what we're talking about. It would have to be like really supported, but it really deserves that because this really is a diamond in the rough. And I know it was a major, and I know it got promoted, and it was on the radio, and they did tour, but we're looking at this record hoping that they come to our local club, you know, and play some of these songs with a lineup that has changed drastically when really like they really had it and they still have it and they could definitely execute. And it's just signs of the industry and just I guess business in general. But this record and the execution on these songs is fucking dude. It took me a long time to realize. I think it took this exercise to realize like, wow, again, we were super lucky to grow up in the era that we grew up in because we got this. Like we got, I guess, equivalent to Alice in Chains' Dirt in our era. I didn't think we'd get that, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. If you think about it, especially looking back at the time frame and the money that was in the industry, they probably don't exist if they come along with this in 2010.
For sure. Yep.
They exist, but we don't know about it. We're not doing this episode because they wouldn't have gotten the support. They wouldn't have gotten out. They wouldn't have, sold 500,000 records, et cetera, whatever. That just wouldn't happen,
Nope.
right?
No.
Because of the money in the industry, we get to see some of those, the big bands lifted a bunch of smaller bands up, and not to say that they're smaller, but there were just a lot of bands that got more play in 2000, 2001 that certainly wouldn't have gotten it in 05 or 06 when the internet really took over and kind of jammed things up for a lot of artists, really. I mean, the industry still made money, but artists.
That's a good point. Because like I know Taproot, for example, signed to Victory in the late 2000s, and I didn't really listen to the album. I don't know how well it did, but it was just different then. But if you dial it back to when this came out, Cold didn't have a DJ. There was no misspelling of the band name. Like
yeah.
I think they played the game a little bit with Year of the Spider, but with this, I don't think so. Like there's no clear, is there a clear single? I don't think so. I mean, no one was, and maybe that's it. And maybe that was where they bend a little bit. Other than that, you're not releasing It's All Good as a single, are you?
No. It'd be harder to, yeah, for sure. Did you guys see that no one, I think I knew this before, but in my research today I saw that it was on the A Walk to Remember soundtrack?
No.
I did not know
Mandy
that.
Moore?
Yeah, Mandy Moore.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like in passing, somebody was playing it while they were driving or whatever, similar to the story that I told about me hearing it in the parking lot at the high school. But I'm sure that's what it was because it was of the time. But what a random song. What a random band to have on that.
That's probably the last movie I would have guessed that would have been.
Should have done some trivia. My bad.
There it is. No one is featured on the soundtrack to the film A Walk to Remember. Hey, let's just for fun here. Let me see who else is on that.
I would imagine this is the only band in that vein or of those types of bands that's on there, but I could be wrong.
All right, folks. What do we got here? Can't find it. I don't know. Maybe
it doesn't exist. It was only No One 12 times.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Wow, Switchfoot. They were a thing back then. Switchfoot, Mandy Moore, Cold, New Radicals, Switchfoot again, Mandy Moore again, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
And then Cold.
I mean, Mandy Moore makes sense, right? She was in the movie. Yeah.
Damn,
that's
someone is paid off.
And then Mandy Moore featuring New Radicals.
They were fans. They were whoever was on music production of that movie was a fan of Cold, and we see you, nerd, wherever you are out there. We see you.
So if we ever get Scooter on, that's gonna be the icebreaker.
Yeah. How did you end up on the A Walk to Remember soundtrack?
What the fuck? Wow, that's crazy.
Deep cut. I did not know that.
And the irony is, like, the interesting thing is that was 2002. That was 2 years after the release. They're like, yeah, let's throw it back.
Yeah, a little flashback Friday. Let's throw this back. All right, Bleed. We haven't talked about Bleed. I fucking love Bleed. Amazing song. One of my favorite lyrics of all time. My love is music. I will marry melody. I posted it on our socials today. I posted it on my personal socials 14 years ago yesterday. So the fact that we're talking about this record tonight, Nerdvoyance, man, it's fucking real. But that song is all time one of my favorite songs. Growing up, one of my favorite songs still to this day. It's so much emotion. It's just so many feelings listening to that. You can tell that he means every word that he's singing. And I'm right there in the room feeling those same feelings.
I got 3 words for you, my friend. You know what they are?
I don't.
Last track
I
magic.
do. Yeah.
Oh man, yes.
Last track magic. It's funny. We this whole last, whatever it's been, 45 minutes, we've talked about gothic optics and deep lyrics. Like with this one, there's kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's like a light to there's a candle light that's flickering that you just kind of don't see throughout it. And of course they bring in Aaron Lewis, who has a subtle role.
Yeah, but it's kind of perfect.
It's a perfect amount. But the lyrics, man. My love is music, I'll marry melody. And then at the end, I need music, set me free to let me bleed. Like that's the end cap to the album. And it's like, I actually think that I'm going to dial it back. Todd Mackey of With Honor, he asked us, give me the summary of this music, of this podcast in 4 words or whatever, or a lyric or whatever. I think it's that. I need music.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, to set me free. Yep. I'm right there with you.
Man.
Yeah, unbelievable song. I hadn't listened to it in fucking at least a decade. It's been a long time, actually. Again, one of those things where it's like, okay, a step back from what's actually going on and the scene that they're being lumped into, because it has, and it sucks to say this, but so much more depth in delivery and lyrical content than like pretty much anything coming out at that time. Like, dude, this is a fucking timeless song, and not even written in a way to be timeless, to be in the charts. And I was just pulled up Coldplay on Spotify. Like Coldplay in the early days, especially The Scientist, stuff like that. It's like, these are really well written songs, lyrically, instrumentally. It's that level, And this is Cold, like this gothic, like you said, gothic.
Cold and Cold
band.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? Coldplay, Cold Cam.
Don't let your girl go to a Coldplay concert
or a Cold show. But yeah, I just remember listening to that today and in the last few days, like it's just next level, man. It really is. And it's so, I think we were talking about Scooter's delivery, like with End of the World, like same thing. Like he means it, and I fucking believe it, and I subscribe to it. Like, dude, yes, 100%. And I think that's why you did that, Away Message, was it 10 years ago or so?
Yeah, it wasn't an Away Message. That was 20 years ago.
We're talking, that would have been 20 years ago.
I posted it to my personal Facebook page.
Time travel and AIM.
Yeah, and I know there are like 5 or 6 people listening to this that, I mean, maybe in general, but that know my personal Facebook page. But yeah, it was on there.
We talk about album sequence. I mean, I think Nate and I are very front half heavy with this. I mean, it maybe loses a little bit second half, but they make up for it with this.
Yeah,
this is an all-time song. And actually, I'm trying to think, like when we saw them in 01, I got to imagine they must have played this. I don't remember.
I would think, yeah.
But this song alone makes me regret not going to the 25-year shows this year. Like, how did we fuck that up, guys? It was at the it was at the Brighton Music Hall.
Because it wasn't, nothing ever fucking comes to me, and that's how we fucked it up. It's a 2-hour drive to get to fucking anything.
Yeah. How do you really feel about it?
I'm over it, man. Like they played Portland in a place that they would have absolutely been able to play for this anyway, if you built it up like Nate was talking about, again now. And I don't know, man. Stuff just doesn't come to us. So That's the one downfall of 2025 is Maine has gotten shafted on shows.
I will say, as much as like sometimes I have a little bit of like regret moving all over the country and not staying kind of stationary, is being in markets where things like this did come around. So 2010, Coldplay, that's like, wow, Cold, not Coldplay, played a 10-year anniversary tour that rolled through St. Petersburg, Florida, and they did play this record front to back. And the bonus, because it was such a small venue, I want to say it was like maybe 800 cap. They're like, anyone that wants to meet and greet, just hang out and we'll fucking sign autographs. So I obviously did it.
What a time.
So the venue was like down the street from my apartment. I'm like, fucking great. And obviously I had my stuff on me because that's how I rolled back then. So yeah, they played the record front to back. It was almost the full lineup with the exception of the rhythm guitarist, I think. So I got the promotional poster for this signed by everyone. Obviously said thank you.
Is that in storage behind me too?
It is definitely in storage.
Okay.
Somewhere, either at your house, or at my camp, or in California, or yeah, somewhere. Got to get it all in one place at some point. Podioslave the museum, Venmo us.
Ooh, I like that. I like this idea. Let's go.
The cool thing about this tour from this year is Sierra Swan, is that her name? She's the female vocalist.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
On this album, she's on tour with them. She went out with them.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
nice.
That's very cool.
Which is cool. I don't know her history. Shout out to her. But she sounds great on this album.
Yeah, she's on a couple songs on this album, and that's cool that they got her to go back out and play these songs. And I'm happy that that's still happening. I'm happy they're still a band. I have a newfound respect for them and a newfound love for them, having done this again. Doing these exercises always brings that stuff back for me, and I'm stoked to dive back into more Cold. I'm sure I'm going to listen to Year of the Spider now and A Different Kind of Pain and just keep rolling.
Well, let me ask you, how long did you stay on the Cold train? Not the Coldplay, the Cold train.
Or not John Coltrane, the Cold train. Okay.
Train.
A while. Through probably A Different Kind of Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did that come out? 06? Something like that.
For me, it was Year of the Spider, and then I don't think I've heard Different Kind of Pain, unless there was a single.
Yeah, good record. And I still go back to these things, like, especially this one. I go back to this one all the time because this one is worth going back to and listening to a ton. But I'm going to dig into some other stuff that I maybe haven't heard or stuff I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, I think it was Year of the Spider for me too, which, Twan, like, we're all nerds here, but I think it's very era specific. Like, we kind of just rode the whole, like, okay, it's a major, it's being promoted properly. The music is really good then as well, like, thankfully. And fell off as soon as they went indie for whatever reason. Could be a multitude of reasons. They're not major anymore. I think it has a lot to do with just like our personal taste in music changing along with like the climate of the music industry at that exact time. So it just kind of falls that way. It's nothing to do with Cold not making good music. It's just we're young, we're interested in everything. So what's next kind of thing. It's just how it works. But I do remember Cold in particular, going back to that Florida thing, like they're a Florida band, right? They're Jacksonville. So I think they disbanded and Scooter was doing a side project. God, what was it called? Like the Something in the Star. I don't know if you want to Google that, Jamie, but don't.
Googling it.
But I remember like getting like
The Killer and the Star.
Killer in the Star. And I remember John Otto from Limp Bizkit was like the drummer. I'm like, dude, if they tore him down, because it's cool to see Scooter and John playing clubs. And like they were about to tour a few times. It never happened. And John Otto was doing like drum lessons and it was in Jacksonville. I'm like, fuck it, I'm in St. Pete. This is cool. Because these are fucking heroes of ours. And it never happened. But I remember thinking, falling off Cold and realizing like, okay, this is the next thing. Kind of like a Tool of Perfect Circle type scenario. Again, kind of a tangent, but I just remember that era.
No, I love this. I'd never heard of this, and I'm on their wiki now, and it's got one of the dudes from Idiot Pilot, who I remember back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Scooter Ward, John Otto, Michael Harris of Idiot Pilot, and then Rocky Gray, who was ex-Living Sacrifice and Evanescence. Yeah, crazy.
Damn.
So that was supposed to be like Cold didn't work out after the fall off, probably from fans like us that were stoked, still are, but for whatever reason fell off. And then, okay, let's do a new thing. And that was supposed to happen. Sucks it didn't. But one of many things like Tapeworm with Maynard James Keenan and Trent that just never took off. But
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm stoked to have had this record in my life and to have it come back and to do these. I remember looking at the album anniversaries from 95, 2000, 2005 for us to talk about this year, and when this one popped up I was like, ooh yeah, we definitely have to do that one at some point, because I knew we all dug it. I knew we all remembered a lot about the time, and then how we feel about it today. It still hits.
It's a very real record that comes from a real perspective. I mean, listen to it, listen to the lyrics. Holiday, I did check. Holiday Kirk, New Metal Agenda, has it 36 all time, 36 best new metal album of all time. Which, I mean, that dude, he's got some obscure picks in there, but he does know new metal. Like he knows it, and it's probably right. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's probably not far off. I might put it actually a little higher.
I'd put it higher personally, but I definitely understand.
Maybe top 20.
Yeah, I understand his thought process there, and he's listened to more new metal than I have, and that's saying something because we lived it.
We lived it, lived the music, lived the live show. Man, it's crazy to think about. Like, we were 15 and into this. Yeah. Insane, and it connected, and it still connects.
Yeah, it's really it's crazy. We're 280 whatever episodes in, and we could do this about so many other records that we've spent that much time with. Like, we could continue to do that. Like, it's amazing that we have these conversations and are able to, just bring back all these memories, listen to the records again, have those feelings again, have new feelings about the records, and listen to it through a different lens because we're all older and in some cases wiser. It's awesome, man. I love the shit.
It is cool. I'm not gonna lie. When you guys were like, let's do this 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage deep dive, I'm like, fuck, man. I don't think there's anyone I know from my travels, phone book, anyone that would just be down to clown on this record.
Send them the clowns, man. We're the clowns.
Here we are.
This level.
Send them in.
At this level. In fact, I'd be curious to know if we reached out to what was known at the time the Cold Army, which is equivalent to like Slipknot maggots.
Oh, that's right.
If anyone would be talking about this record and this band at this level, and I kind of don't think so. I know that sounds like conceited and cocky, but it's just we experienced it as a 3-piece, so there's that as well.
We're a 3-piece now. I love it.
We're a 3-piece, sometimes 2-piece.
We're a threesome.
Oh boy.
But yeah, exactly. To your point, like we can just keep going because there's just a lot to cover, and we somehow experienced all this shit in a very like young age with a lot going on. So I guess we weren't paying attention to other shit. We're just kind of doing this shit.
Yeah. Well, my love is music. I will marry melody. I'm right here, baby.
You did it.
This is it.
Yeah, we're still at it. I would say that's the mic drop.
Yeah,
Go listen to Bleed. If you connect with music, connect with any type of songwriting, whether it be audio or lyrics, that hits, man. I might wrap this episode after this and go listen to it now.
Yeah,
let's headphones.
Let's wrap. Let's go throw some good headphones on. You guys do the same out there in listener land and toss on some music you love. It doesn't have to be this record. You probably just listen to it in prep for this, but yeah, go listen to some music you love.
One last thing. We cover a lot of music on this podcast. If you come from the pop punk world, which we've done a lot of, if you come from the punk, just straight punk, metal, hardcore, whatever it is, and you don't know this album or you've dismissed this record, pull it up, listen to it. Yep. You'll connect with it. Mic drop. See ya.
Peace, potheads.
Cheers, nerds and drones. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.